Imagine you trusted someone and you trusted someone with your life, you trusted someone with your money, and in return, they stabbed you. How would that feel like to anyone? I think that's called betrayal. Well, in today's world, betrayal has become a norm. It's getting normalized in the societies where a betrayer is called a clever man, and the one betrayed of his trust is called a stupid person who doesn't know how to live in today's world or today's society. We trust our leaders, or not our leaders, we trust the leaders, the people who win the election, the politicians, and whatever. We trust them with our votes, we trust them with leadership that they are going to lead the community for betterment of the community for good. But in return, many times what we see is as soon as these people get into the position, they get into the office, they take the chair, all of a sudden their attitude change, their behavior change, the way they talk change. You don't even see them anymore. When they were running for election, they were all around the roads, in the streets, with the people, sitting with the shopkeepers, sitting with middle class person and poor people. As soon as this person won the election, they disappeared from the street. Where did they go? They are busy working for people. Well, they're busy working for people doing what? The roads are still broken. The hospitals are still understaffed. The schools are still underfunded. Environment and infrastructure doesn't seems to change for any better. What are they working for really? Well, the corrupt leaders don't work for people. They work for profit. Public people are just the means for them to get their PR, get their votes, get into the office, kick the people out, welcome the profit in. Isn't that what happens around the globe? I was reading this paper from the Browns University. They started a program called Cost of War in 2010. I was reading their papers on the war economy and cost of the wars, and again, these people were highlighting one thing, that the money which was supposed to go to the infrastructure for the people is going into useless military spendings. And why are they doing that? Because of national security? Because someone is going to come and just bomb America and take everyone captive? Not really. Because half of the total budget of the Pentagon goes to the private companies. 14 major companies: Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and other companies like that. And what are these companies doing of that budget? That taxpayer dollar that went into Pentagon, what are these private companies doing of that? Well, they are manufacturing products for the security of our people. Not really. Not really. If they're doing that, then how come 40 to 50% of the budget just get lost in abuse and unscripted things? How come 40% of the taxpayer dollar, 40% of the half of the Pentagon budget, 40 to 50% just get lost? Where? Into the private accounts of people, into the private accounts of these 14 major companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing. And now, I was also reading in that paper only. Now, the Pentagon has started to take hold of Silicon Valley because now they have also started to spend a lot in the tech firms like Microsoft and Amazon and Alphabet, the parent company of Google, because now military is transforming into technological weaponization. You can say that. So you see what's happening over here. The people trusted the leaders, the politicians, to be in the office for the betterment of their community, their citizens. Rather, what ends up happening is the roads remain unrepaired, the hospital remains understaffed, the schools remain unfunded, the public infrastructure is not getting any better, the subway is not getting any better. I mean, you walk around New York City and you see the piles of garbage around the street. Is that a condition of a financial capital of the world? Garbage on the street in New York City? New York doesn't have the budget, or the federal government doesn't have the budget to at least clean the streets of New York. Where is all that money going? Into the private accounts, into the luxury projects. Like Mr. Donald Trump said, I'm going to make marvelous project into the dead on the top of the dead bodies of Gaza. That's what his plan is. One is going to kill, other is going to build. One is going to kill for profit, other is going to build for profit. There's this principle in the Quran which Allah gave us to render the trust to whom it belongs. If someone has trusted you with anything, then give them their trust back. Be trustworthy. Don't betray people. What do we see happening in our society? And this video is specific about the leadership right now. My last video was focused on finance, and this video is focused on leadership. That's why I'm specifically talking about leadership a lot. I'll rather not say use the word leadership, because leadership is a very good word, and these people, they are not leaders, they are politicians. So I'll say the word politicians, not leaders. People trusted these politicians to do what? To make the infrastructure better, or else what? To reduce the inflation rates, to get more jobs in the economy, to do things like that, to make people's life easy. That's what people trust these people to do, these politicians to do. Can that be done? Yes, of course, inshallah. But is that getting done? Not really. Not really. And it doesn't matter who comes in the office. It doesn't matter who comes in the office. It'd be a Republican, it'd be a Democrat, it'd be a Biden, it'd be a Trump, or it'd be a new face. Anyone. I've said this thing again and again, and I'm saying that also again. All these people you see in power on the chair, the politicians, they are just the puppets. They're just the puppets. Who are the puppeteers? The big banks, the international corporations. They run your country. They run America. To do what? To earn profit, of course. So only that they will allow, they are only going to allow that person in the office who will in turn make them money. And when these politicians are not able to do what they promised the people, what they start doing in return, they start blaming the minorities, as what is happening in America right now under the Trump regime with the ICE, Immigration and Custom Department. Just because Donald Trump is not doing what he promised to do to the people, to divert people's attention, what dogma or drama has he started to play in the American country is the immigrants are the problem. We have to kick all of the immigrants out. Keeping in mind, Mr. Trump is also a son or a grandson of an immigrant only. Why am I making this video? Because this is something already known, and to an extent this thing has just become a norm where this is how things happen in today's world. So why am I making this video when there's nothing new to what I'm speaking? The purpose of my videos is not to tell what's happening around the world. The purpose of my videos is to convey the message of the Quran. And in contrast, show you or tell you what is actually happening or what ends up happening when we ignore the principles Allah gave us in the Quran. Allah told us, Allah commanded us to render the trust to whom it belongs. Be trustworthy in any aspect of life at any level of society. Doesn't matter if you are on the footpath or you are in the office of a prime minister sitting on the chair. Be trustworthy. Render the trust to whom the people who trusted you with. But what do we do? What do we do? As soon as we get the chance, as soon as we get the chance, we are the first to betray, except for the good people in the society. We are the first to betray. If some person gets some position of authority, they just lose their mind. They become so proud that their chest is not able to get remain inside the shirt. The shirt button is getting torn off by how boosted they are, walking so arrogantly on the floor, on the road like a pharaoh. While getting just this much piece of authority. Even in the mosque, even in the mosque, give some person some authority in the mosque and then see how some people react. As if mosque has become a political ground for them. We have to get back to the principles Allah gave us. And one of the principles which Allah gave us is render the trust to whom they are due. Be trustworthy. Don't break people's trust. If someone is trusting you with something or anything, be trustworthy. If someone is trusting you with their secrets, with their money, with their belongings, with their property, with their children, with their family, with their data, I don't know, anything, then be trustful, be trustworthy. Be someone a person can rely on and know that this person is a reliable person, they won't break my trust. I was reading, like I said, I was reading those papers from the Brown University of the program that started in 2010. And there's this amazing thing which the director has laid out about the war economy of America. There she says it like this: the increased military spending is increased. What happens when the military spending is increased, i.e., the budget of the military, yearly budget get increased? What happens? Military contractors benefit. Of course, when the budget is increased, the money is spread. When the money is spent, where is all that money going to? 50% to the private companies like Lockheed Martin and Boeing and so on. Their profit increases. When their profit increases, what happens? Military industry gains power. Of course, when they have more when they have more money, they gain more power and lobby for more money. And now they can lobby for more money. Of course, now they can fund the politicians more. Now they can fund the elections more. Now they can influence the elections more. What happens after that? Military economy becomes further entrenched. This economy which America has, the military economy, the war economy, it gets further strong. The budget is increasing, private companies are profiting, they are influencing the elections more and more. Their candidate wins the election, they get the money back, they get the profits back, and the economy gets strong and strong of the war economy. Or I will rather say not strong and strong. The bubble of the war economy gets bigger and bigger. What happens after that? Military spending is seen too important to cut. The last and final statement. This is too important to be get destroyed. We cannot let that happen. Like what they did with the banks. They usually do. These politicians they give these banks the bailouts whenever these banks struggle. So for the military also, we cannot cut our military. Why? It's very important. We cannot do that. Who is benefiting? Who is benefiting and out of what? First, let's focus on not on who is benefiting. Let's focus on what's happening when such kind of bubble war economy gets created. You know what happens? Gaza happens. Gaza happens. When war economy is created, Gaza happens. These people don't care about your children, our children, my children. They don't care about a woman. They don't care about anyone. They care about their profit, their money, their power. That's what they care about. When such an economy gets stronger and stronger, when such an economy gets more entrenched, the bubble, not stronger, not stronger, not stronger. When such bubble gets bigger and bigger, what happens? Gaza happens. Gaza happens. Somewhere around 20 to 30 billion dollars to in financial aid to Israel. To do what? To do what? To commit genocide. To kill babies who haven't even opened their eyes yet. To systematically impose starvation on people. Systematically impose starvation on people. The systematic bombing, the systematic starvation, the systematic famine. All for what? Profit, power, greed. Out of whose money? The American citizens' tax dollar, the taxpayer money. Who is using these tax dollars? The politicians. Who is benefiting? The private, corrupt, inhumane companies. Like the banks, like the international corporations, like the military contractors. Who is suffering? The people of Gaza. And people like Gaza in and outside the border. And also the American citizens. They are also suffering. All of this chaos can be extinguished by a simple principle we follow, which Allah gave us in the Quran. And what is it? Render the trust to whom it is due. Be trustworthy. If someone is trusting you with your tax dollars, be trustworthy to them. If someone is trusting you to be their politician, be trustworthy to them. If someone is trusting you to be an authority, be trustworthy. And American people don't want the genocide. These corrupt, inhumane international corporations, banks and companies and contractor wants the war, genocide. The American people don't want it. And the American people are protesting against the government and the system to stop this genocide. But it was never about the American people. It was always about the profit. It was never about the public, about the people, about America itself. It was always about the profit and power. You don't matter to them. I don't matter to them. Your children don't matter to them. My children don't matter to them. What matters is how are they going to earn profit and how are they going to remain in the power. We have to get back to the principles Allah gave us in His book, in the Quran. We have to implement that, teach our children, and that's how we are going to create a better world where we don't have to kill people for profit. No one has to do that.